I'm Tripp, and today I'm in sunny California, down at the beach at the Wedge in Newport Beach. I'm here with one of my favorite people, Erin Tripp. She's my sister-in-law. She's a celebrity chef, and I'm always so impressed with what she does. And so I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Meet Erin Tripp.
Hi.
If you haven't noticed, she has a little bit of an accent. You're from New Zealand,
From
Auckland.
New Zealand. Was in New Zealand till '79, and then came over here and married her brother.
My brother whisked you off your feet.
Yes.
I don't know about that. So you've done a number of things in life, and it's always it's always curious to me, how did you end up in the food industry?
For me, it started back in New Zealand. My mother actually worked at an orchard down in New Zealand, and I used to go and help out. I was only little and high school, and we would deliver food, fruit and vegetables, to a caterer in a local reception center by my house, and they started doing concerts in New Zealand. I went, hey, you got to get me a job there. So my mother got me a job there, and we did concerts like George Benson was one of the first ones, and the Little River Band from Australia. But the biggest one for me was Fleetwood Mac, Beach Boys. But the biggest one for me was David Bowie.
Oh God!
I was like, oh, that's who I still follow today. I adore him. So that was a big deal. And then we had the event was at Western Springs Stadium, ironically, where your brother used to race and became famous. And we set the whole place up, and then to have David come out and stand beside me and talk about the crowd, and I said, oh, this is nothing, wait, this will be full of people. And he was very impressed by it was surrounded by pine trees, and he had an amazing show that night. And it was right from his kind of a Ziggy Stardust into his like normal head blonde hair and a Hawaiian shirt on. And then that night he wanted to have a party somewhere in the city, and so this is before cell phones, and we had to shut down a nightclub using 2 phones hooked up at the stadium. And he wanted 50 guests, and basically women, and we just got on the phone and called all our friends, and I ended up having to go over to the nightclub and wait for him, and he arrived, he came up, and here I am, 16, 17, in awe. In awe. Walked him inside, made sure he had something to eat and to drink. He was very nice. He sang a few songs, he found somebody he liked, and off he went. And that was I don't even have a photograph to prove it.
Really? But that got you interested.
So I thought, this is pretty cool, this is pretty neat. So here I am all the way in New Zealand, and we didn't have a lot of huge concerts come to New Zealand, but when we did, we had big names, so it was kind of neat to work with some of these. And some of the stories, I can't even tell, but I was so young, and I was like, oh, really, they do this? Oh, wow, they can do that? I guess they can. So that was my interest in the food, and then to be involved with that as well, it was a pretty big deal for me.
So you obviously went back and got your culinary.
When I came over here, I mean, I don't have any college background. I didn't have a college degree. We just, in New Zealand, you just kind of go off and get an apprenticeship, and I kind of did that with Ron. He was the chef at the place in New Zealand, and I learnt self-taught by him, but I thought, when I come to the States, everybody has degrees and everybody has a certificate, so I went back to school, and Orange Coast College, being local here, was recommended to me, and I looked into all the other colleges in LA, and they're so expensive, and I thought, well, why not? So they've won a lot of awards. They just recently won the gold in Florida for the hot food team, and so a recommendation. So I went there and absolutely loved it, and from there I've got so many jobs and so many connections with people.
So let me ask you about formal training. Do you think it's necessary for somebody that wants to get into the business to get a culinary degree like yourself?
People ask me that, and for me, I knew how to cook before, but thinking I needed to have some certificate or some kind of degree, I went back to college to get that. And to be honest, I don't know whether it's my age, because I'm older than younger students, but no one's ever asked to see it. They just want to know, did you go to school?
Oh, that's interesting.
So no one said, can I see your certificate? Did you pass it? So I don't know about that, but for me, yeah, I knew how to cook, but you learn those shortcuts. You look the easier way around it. You learn from other people. Oh, that was a clever way to do that. I'll do that from now on. And even chefs that have been doing it for a long time, you bring things to the table for them as well.
Sure, yeah.
So training, I don't know. I've worked under 2 or 3 people that have not been trained. They've done it themselves, and I don't know. For me, I've just learnt the shortcuts and connections, and that's how I got my job.
Because these kids,
Yeah.
like, how do you get started?
Yeah,
well, there
and
you go.
people say you do freebies. You do a lot of freebies to start with. So I at Orange Coast College, where I went. They have a lot of fundraising, so you turn up and then there's other chefs that come in and work them, and they see you there, and then they'll say, hey, I've got an event, would you be interested in working? You go do a great job for them, and you end up on their books and start working for them. And other chefs see you, and then I've worked for a couple of different catering companies, and other people do too, and you keep seeing them at different places,
Right.
and then you get to know, people get to know you, and then you start getting calls on jobs. Like one friend, he works at the Playboy Mansion, and they had an event at Hearst Castle, and they usually have all-men servers, and that's just what they do. I wasn't in the kitchen for this. They needed people from serving. There was 56 people. If anyone's been to Hearst Castle, they had a huge dining room table. In that room, there's 56 people around. Solidly booked table with beautiful fruits and ornaments, and it was amazing, and got to work an event like that. Now who gets to work like that? But I knew this guy through working at other catering companies, and he had recommended they wanted a couple of women servers that year, and they paid for our room and our travel up there, and we had they shut the Hearst Castle down at 3 o'clock, and we had free reign for until the event.
Oh my gosh,
I've just wandered around. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then at night it got a little spooky. You're in rooms, it was dark, and it's like, oh god, I need to get out of here. But it was a neat event. My section, I had one of the Hearst family members there, and had Fran Drescher from The Nanny.
Oh yeah.
And she was delightful.
Oh.
And she goes, oh, you're a Kiwi.
Does she really talk like that?